Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go. Once again, my name is Stick, filling in for the wonderful, the beautiful, the sexual, dare I say, Ryan Ermani, who's on vacation, posting beach pictures, looking good.
Hurry up and come back, man. Come deal with this Michigan weather. I mean, I swear to God, it was 50 degrees the other day. Now it was 20 degrees. It's iced and there's no ice. Come back and get some of this misery with us, man.
Yeah, come on, Ryan. We miss you up here, and I'm sure Braylon wants his co-host back. I'm sitting in doing the best I can, but, you know, Ryan's special, baby. He's special.
Hey, you know what? Bottom Line is special, and so is Woodward Sports. I'm glad to have you as always. Whoever fills in, we do a damn good job. Got somebody filling in today, man, for the couch. Maz, we appreciate you. We hope everything's going well with Maz's situation. Send your love, your prayers to Maz. Had an incident with his mother-in-law, so we wish her the best. But like we say, we keep it rolling in Woodward Sports, and today we got a bunch of young talent coming in. You'll meet somebody in 2 seconds. This is how we do it.
Yeah, Corey Wood's going to come in. We got Easy coming in around the 3 o'clock hour. And then, of course, the normal cast and crew is in here. Sam Flannel doing his thing with the sound booth, making sure the music sounds good underneath us. And then, of course, Alex making sure the visuals are all good if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And thank you guys for watching, and everybody that downloaded the app as well. Don't forget that app is free and available for you to download. Braylon, let's get into what's trending right now on Twitter, because a lot of good things actually are trending for Michigan.
That's what I'm talking about.
The first thing that we saw, Chrysler, $15 billion this year, and on top of that, they are giving profit-sharing checks to people that work at Chrysler that qualify for them of $15,000 each.
Man, you talk about STEM package, man. Hey, I need one of those. I know some people that work at Stellantis, as it's now called.
Yep.
Stellantis is now what Chrysler's called. Don't worry, people. I just learned that a second ago. So I'm trying to pawn it off like it's my own information. But, yeah, good for them, man. Number one economical city in the state in the country in the last year for the state of Michigan, man, and that's part of it with Stellantis and those $15,000 checks that they're passing out. I'm excited, man. That's going in the right direction. You know, Detroit and Michigan hasn't had the best economics as it relates to the past 10 years, but hey, man, we've been working hard in the right direction, and COVID or anything else can't stop us.
Well, it actually, it's funny that Folding Warehouse was just at the bottom bar for us, but it reminds me of what Chris Hutt was telling me when he invented folding about, you know, just Michigan and Detroit in general. He's like, we're creators. We build things here. Yeah. And whenever, like, economies come and go, the people that are actually making goods and doing things are going to be the ones that are first out of it, because we're the ones people are coming to for their supplies, for their cars, for anything like that. And, you know, with the shortage of cars and the chip shortage and all that, it's good to see that Michigan, like you said, is the #1 economic state in the country right now. And that's according to Forbes magazine. So it's not like I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, it's not us. It's Forbes. You know, also Pfizer's here as well. So that's great to hear. The USFL, on a lighter note, they had their draft, and their first overall draft pick is a name that people from Michigan recognize. What was that draft pick's name?
Shea Patterson.
There it is.
Shea Patterson, and we'll definitely get into the USFL coming up, because I'm getting mixed reactions. You know, I was listening to D-Mac and I was listening to Neil Rule earlier, and they're on team this thing's going to fail.
Shocking.
Like, there's just no way this is ever going to work, and I definitely want to get your opinion about this, because I clearly have my opinions about it as well.
Whenever you deal with Neil, you always have to know that he's going to be on the side of antagonism. I love Neil to death. Shout out to Neil Rule, Big D Energy, great show today as well. But, you know, Neil's always going to be that side of the antagonist. He's always going to antagonize, and he does it extremely well. So that's why he does that as well. So maybe behind closed doors he's excited, but it's going to be interesting, and we'll definitely get into that as well in probably the 2:48 hour, man. But I think the biggest thing, Trent, I think the thing that you're ready to jump out the gate and talk about it is, this past Saturday, they did the 75th anniversary NBA team, and they actually announced it on Sunday. They had everybody out there that could make it due to death, and nobody from that 2004 Going to Work Pistons was on the team. And how you feel about that, man?
I mean, we're about to get into this because honestly, I feel bad that I didn't realize it while it was happening.
Right.
You know, like I watched the entire halftime, the 97-minute halftime of bringing out all these old decrepit dudes trying to walk up on stage and whatnot. And, you know, I'm watching the video montage of them just waving at people, and you can tell it was fake as hell. But I sat through all that, and, you know, it's like, okay, I really, in the moment, I wasn't like, that guy doesn't deserve to be there. That guy, why isn't this guy there? But then it gets pointed out to you that the only championship team to not have a representative was the 2004 championship Pistons. And I can overlook it in some aspects, but when you are the only team, it's like, come on now, what the hell is this bias?
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier, so without further ado, want to get Corey Woods in here. He is sitting at the seat. Corey, you also got some opinions thinking about the 75th annual team, just like Stick does. The Going to Work Pistons are the only championship winning team to not have a representative. I mean, what do you think, man? Talk to us.
You know what? When I saw that yesterday, I was like, wow, just like Stick. How did I not realize that? Because, I mean, that is one of my favorite teams of all time, hometown bias. So I just decided to do this. I said, you know what? Let me step back a little bit and take away my homerism. Yep. I can be it with the Pistons. And I looked at the actual list. And outside of a couple of names, I was okay with the list. I was okay with the Piston not making it, and here's why. I felt that when you look at Anthony Davis and you look at Damian Lillard, those are two names who should not be on the 75 greatest players list. I believe you take off Anthony Davis, you take off Damian Lillard, and you replace them with Tracy McGrady and Dwight Howard. But we're in the vacuum of no player. The Pistons are the only championship team to not have a representative out there. How in the hell does Anthony Davis make it over Ben Wallace? That to me is mind-boggling. Is Anthony Davis a better talent than Ben Wallace? Yes, he is. Has he had a greater career than Ben Wallace? No, he has not. Right. Let me just go off of Ben Wallace's accomplishments real quick because I have them right in front of me.
Go off, Corey. Let him know.
NBA champion, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time NBA All-Star, 5-time All-NBA honors, 6-time All-Defensive Team honors, 2-time rebound leader, 1-time blocks leader, and the only undrafted Hall of Famer in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. If that does not warrant great, then we need to redefine the definition of what great is. Because as great as Anthony Davis can continue to have a career, you want to have him on a NBA 100 list. Okay, I still think he's developing his career. Let's add him to that list. But Ben Wallace's career is finished. Anthony Davis is still carving out his career. Ben Wallace deserves to be on that list, and I think not having him on that list is a slap in the face. And I think it's really because the 2004 Pistons were the team the NBA hated. They were the stepchild of the NBA. They were not supposed to make it. They did everything in their power. I'm not gonna say it was any kind of conspiracy, but they did everything in their power to kind of just downplay that roster. Even if you remember, Stick, you remember watching that series, every game, even down to the 5th game, they were still picking the Lakers to win.
Oh, yeah. No, they did not want to get off their predictions.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said about Anthony Davis, even just compared to Ben Wallace, like, to me, Anthony Davis proved that he's not one of the greatest when you couldn't build a team around him. He was in New Orleans. He could have been the man, and they could not build a team around him. You trade for Ben Wallace and Chucky Atkins, and you have the foundation for a championship here in Detroit. So, to me, he's already proved that you can build a championship team around him. Anthony Davis had to run and, go do whatever he got to do to get on LeBron's team. But he got on LeBron's team and won a championship.
The most memorable thing Anthony Davis has done in his career is force his way out of the New Orleans Pelicans, and he hit a game-winning shot in the bubble playoffs. That's the most two memorable things I remember Anthony Davis doing. Oh, and he wore the "That's All Folks" shirt when he was forcing his way out of New Orleans. So that's 3 things. The most thing I remember Anthony Davis for is just being injured.
Well, the one thing I will say is I'll play the role of the antagonist today. I'll play the role of Neil Rule. So you Detroit fans out there, just work with me on that. I think it's that defensive thing. I think it's why you can't see a defensive MVP as it relates to NFL or any other type of league. That defensive thing, it's something about the defense where there's a disconnect. Like, you named all the things that he did defensively, and I don't like, those are great. Those are top of the line stats. Those are Dennis Rodman-esque stats. But there are other defensive players that have some similar stats like that. Joakim Noah made 3-time all defensive MVP. He made the defensive team, all defensive team 5 times. Like, there's other guys. You have what was the point guard? Tony Allen that just got into a bit of trouble. He and his wife. He was an all-time defensive team. He's made so the defensive side never gets the love. Never gets the exact amount of love that it should get. But just looking at Anthony Davis' numbers, and if I'm looking at everybody that also made the 75th anniversary team, those guys, no matter what team they're on, like when you think of those guys, you think of guys that can win a championship. Like you said, people you build a team around.
Right.
New Orleans wasn't building a team around him. Like they dropped the ball. Like they dropped the ball in terms of with the coaches while he was there. You look at the team that they had a couple of years ago. Now that would have mixed well. The team that they traded for Anthony Davis. Now that team was well. You had Brandon Ingram. You had Zion Williams. You had Lonzo. J.J. Redick was a part of the team. But he was already gone. So to that I say that. It's just tough. When you look at AD's stats and you look at what AD's done, 8-time All-Star game, 1-time ring, and you can discredit that because it was a bubble ring. 1-time ring, he's finished Defensive Player of the Year. He's finished 3 times as number 2. He's finished in the top, the All-Pro. He's finished twice. It's just tough when you look at Ben. Because with people outside of Detroit, we love Ben. He's our guy. He's going to work Pistons. He's the Fro. Fear the Fro. He now works in the front office with the Detroit Pistons. And we love to have him here. We love to see that. But when you're looking at a snapshot, everybody in that 75th anniversary, you can name something special that they did. You can name something special that they changed, some special moments that they had as players and in finals, and et cetera. With Ben, it's kind of tough. It's like, oh, yeah, he had a bunch of blocks. But then when you got him off that team, and here's the other thing I will say. You said that the love in which they didn't show the Pistons, talking about that year. Well, technically NBA did show love because they allowed Chauncey, Tayshaun, Shea, and Ben to be in the All-Star game 3 years in a row, all 4 of them, when none of them had All-Star stats, with the exception of Ben. None of them had All-Star stats, but they let them be, as a representative of Detroit, all 4 of them. You talk about why he's now on that 75th anniversary team. It's because when you think about him, you think about them. Those other 75 players that made the team, you think about them as individuals, but oh, by the way, they had great players around them too.
I mean, I can agree with some of that argument, but I also think there's other players outside of Ben Wallace that should be mentioned as maybe the top 75 of all time, and I want to get into those other guys too, as well as Ben Wallace, because we could continue this conversation. Corey, you got another time to stick around? All right, because this conversation is going to last for a while here. It got us heated before the show today.
It did.
So.
We got to a little bit. I like it, though.
That's all right.
He definitely is an individual that's done enough to be on this list or to be mentioned with the greats. He deserves that conversation. It's just when you're trying to limit it to 75 and you got to go back to George Mikan until now, you know it's going to be a level of we got to put in some of these guys. Oh, by the way, we got to put in some of these new guys, i.e., AD makes it, Damian Lillard make it. Because ain't no way in hell Damian Lillard makes it over my boy Klay Thompson. That's just me.
It's just for me, when you talk about best and greatest, AD is a better talent than Ben Wallace, but he's not greater.
I would, if I was drafting today, I would probably take Ben Wallace over AD. We'll discuss that coming up next. Sam Flannel just had an immediate reaction to that comment, so we'll talk about it next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards, and this is
The Bottom Line.
Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Cunningham open in the corner, he tripled.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Want to tell you about our friends over at Les Stanford in Dearborn. It's right off Michigan Avenue. Absolutely beautiful showroom. They got new cars, they got used cars, and Les Stanford is the Corvette king. If you're looking at one of those brand new Corvettes that look like, to me, it's the best Corvette design that's ever come out. Plus 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. In case you're trying to get away from your baby mama or something like that, you can get away fast as hell. But Les Stanford, that's where you need to go. And if you have a lease that needs to be traded in, they are the lease experts and will get you into the car that you want. And it's real easy to get a hold of them. Just go to lesstanford.com or give them a call right now, 313-565-6000. Les Stanford, find those new roads.
Find them.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. That is Braylon Edwards, and we have Corey Woods joining us. And we were talking about the top 75 players in NBA history and how the only championship team to get a snub by not having not one damn player as the top 75 in the entire NBA history was the 2004 Detroit Pistons.
Here's a question. And, this is no longer about AD. This is more so just about kind of Ben Wallace, the 75th anniversary team, kind of numbers, stats, whatever. When you talked about the greatness versus best when we left, talked about the argument, best, greatest. Two different arguments. I totally agree with you. What is Ben Wallace great at?
I think Ben Wallace, for a stretch period, he was known as one of the greatest, one of the best defenders in the NBA.
6 years.
Yeah, best on-the-ball defender, best rebounder, best help-side defender.
For a center, yes.
Best blocked. No, I mean,
just defender.
We saw
one of the best defensive players. Like, he was the,
for 6 years,
he was the anchor of that Pistons core. He was the anchor. Without them,
I mean, he'd be out on the perimeter guarding shooting guards. He'd be checking forwards. Like Ben, he'd pick their pocket too a lot of the times.
When you look at that 75th anniversary list, when you look at that list, when you look at the stats, and I know we don't want to talk about stats, we want to talk about greatness. When they start mentioning those guys, when they mention how many points they've scored, they're somewhere in the 50s and below. When they mention rebounds, they're somewhere in the 20s and below when you mention the guys in your rebound. When you mention assists, they're somewhere in the 40s to 50s and downward. The points that they scored, the rebounds they had, the championships, a lot of those championships seems to flow upwards. They're into the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and 5s. I just think when I'm looking at him and as I'm trying to relate it to making it make sense, 6 years, he was legitimately a monster. And then before that and after that, he was basic. 6 years. Is 6 years good enough to be mentioned on the 75 greatest players of all time?
I think when you dominate the way he did, yes. Like, because it was clear. He could have won Defensive Player of the Year 6 years in a row. They only gave it to him 4 years in a row. But even at that time, that was a record. Nobody had ever won it 4 years in a row. So, I mean, to do something that has never been done in the NBA should put you in that conversation, right?
And also to add on to Stick's point, scoring does matter. I mean, so we don't want to overlook that. But even if you want to factor in, like, since we're picking Anthony Davis on this, you want to factor in his total game.
Right.
He never was he was talked about as one of the best players in the NBA, but he was never talked about as this guy is dominating this. Ben Wallace was talked about as the dominant defensive player for that 6 year stretch. Anthony Davis never had that stretch where he was considered one of the most dominant in a category. He was mostly injured.
Every year for the last 5-6 years when the season starts, they always say the same dumb thing, but it's the same. If this one player stays healthy, it's got down to KD now because we know him to be the best player on the planet when he's healthy. But Anthony Davis, for the past 6 years, they always start the season. If this guy's healthy, he's the best player in the league. So obviously they are trying to tell you that that's how they feel about him. That's what they believe his game is. It's not just he's good at this or he's not bad. They're trying to tell you.
But the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, then, I mean, if we're going to go off of
time. And also, we're not just going with AD. Yeah. We're talking about Ben with the other 75 players.
Well, I want to say, I want to hear from you because when I said I would draft Ben Wallace over AD, you had like a visceral reaction to that. Why?
I think that's absolutely absurd. First of all, when it comes to Ben Wallace, if he were on that team, he would be the worst offensive player on that team by far. And NBA is an offensive game.
Now it is. Not when Ben was playing.
That's true.
How old are you, Sam?
I'm 30.
No, they were scoring points. They were scoring points except for when they played the Pistons.
Yeah, the Pistons held how many teams? What was it, 8 in a row under 70 points?
13 games straight.
No,
13 games straight.
Under 70
points.
Only two teams scored over 100.
But what were you saying, Sam?
Anthony Davis is an 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA first team. I think 4-time All-NBA defense, maybe 3. One of the greatest talents at the big man position we have ever seen. Had seasons where he scored like 29 and 12. Ben Wallace.
He scored a quadruple-double on the Pistons, by the way, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
At the Palace, right before they closed. That's how he sent the Palace out with a quadruple-double.
What was that, against Charlie Villanueva, though? That doesn't matter.
Are you really want to go there with the Pistons when they beat the Nets and the Pacers? Stop. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Davis absolutely deserves to be on this team. I would argue he should be on an All-NBA 50 team.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Okay. See,
right.
but
Here's
my rebuttal to this. I'll even take it a step further. I'll even go with a different Wallace I would take over Anthony Davis. And that is Shea.
What was he elite at? He wasn't elite at anything.
Okay, we want to talk about players that evolutionized the game of basketball. You want to talk about big men who stretch the floor and who learn how to shoot. You want to talk about defensive prowess and what happened to the Pistons when they got Rasheed Wallace on this team.
Right.
To me, it's hard to not acknowledge him as one of the transitional better big men in NBA history, and the fact that he's not even involved in this conversation is offensive to me. Because with Portland, he was going to the finals, losing to Shaq and Kobe, but weren't those some of the greatest teams of all time?
Yeah, 100%. Like, listen, Roscoe, as we in Detroit know him, Roscoe is like a good friend of mine. Like, he, you know what I'm saying? It goes beyond all that. When I look at it, yes, those Portland Trailblazers teams, they were really dope. But you know what they had on that? A ton of individuals outside of him. He wasn't the only one.
Uncle Cliff?
Now, I definitely agree with your comment about first one to be able to stretch the floor. Great. But you look at that team, Zebo, Cliff himself, Scotty, Bonzi, Damon Stoudemire at the point guard, you know, what's the big, Arvidas Sabonis. Like, you go through that list, great players. You look here. Like, the first couple years here, it was dope. But you want to talk about defense, since it's the going-to-work Pistons defense, he must have stayed at home Game 5 against San Antonio in 2005.
Oh, he didn't stay at home. He should have stayed at home on Robert Horry, but he went to go help in the corner. He should have stayed at home.
Please don't break that. That's a PTSD
that's
game for me.
PTSD.
But how about this? If the Pistons do win that series, do you think one of them is in the top 75? Because now they're back-to-back championship.
Potentially.
Potentially, but it has to be. It can only be one person. It can only be Chauncey. And the only reason Chauncey is because if they win, Chauncey's once again Finals MVP that year. So he'll be back to back. It's just like Eli. Like, you can't deny Eli first ballot Hall of Fame in the NFL. Just like that, you wouldn't be able to deny Chauncey Billups if he was back to back MVP Finals winner. You wouldn't have been able to deny that.
Yeah.
But once again, we're talking about if.
Yeah, talking about if he wouldn't have left Robert Horry.
Nah, we're talking about if. Rasheed's a great player. He's a player that his thing was techs and Air Force Ones, and not necessarily,
but we learned a lot
not necessarily working as hard off season.
I think the thing about Sheed was, if Sheed played up to his true potential,
which means 365 days, you got to think of basketball.
If Sheed played up to his true potential, absolutely yes. Because I mean, he could do it all.
Yeah.
Low post, perimeter, mid-range. Like, Sheed was a walking bucket.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, for one, Sheed played on a dominant Portland team. Even though they didn't win, there was a lot of great players on that Portland team. And then on the Pistons, he bought into the team ball concept. So we never really got to see Rasheed show his full game because he was so bought into the team concept. If Sheed was a solo act, Sheed would definitely be on this list because he had it all.
And we saw it when she got going. He was unstoppable on the block, hitting threes, and on defense. Like, he was it when he was ready.
Also, it goes to kind of say what Kobe told Shaq. Kobe told Shaq before he died, rest in peace to Mamba, when he's had that sit-down interview to finally get on the same page. He said, man, if you would have worked out, like he said, we'd have won 10 championships in a row. And I think that's the same with She. Like, she loved basketball, was about basketball. He's an individual he's like Michael Beasley. Like, them jokers just wake up and are great at basketball. But with that comes, when that season is over, what are you now doing from June to August to September to October?
Still blazing, still blazing.
Hey.
No, it's funny.
Just blaze.
I just had a conversation with somebody last week about God-given talent and coaching, and how, like, even though you have God-given talent, you need people to show you and coach you up the right way. Like, Tom Brady's great, but he needed Bill Belichick, you know?
100%.
Like, Kobe was
Josh
phenomenal.
McDaniel was another guy that helped him out there.
There
Kobe,
you go. But you needed the Zen Master, to bring all of it together.
Heck, there's even Chauncey
Phil
Billups.
Handley,
I remember
too,
there
the shooting
was
coach.
even Billups. We had Billups for 1 year with Carlisle, and then when Larry Brown came in, I think it was something that happened. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was one game Chauncey Billups went off. He had like a triple-double or something like that, and Larry Brown said to him, "You obviously don't know how to play point guard for me."
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
you got to play the right way.
Coaching to get you in the right direction.
Larry Brown, who made the top 15 coaches of all time. We did get two Pistons in that one. We got Larry Brown and we did get Chuck Daly. Larry Brown, man, he's a guy, you're going to play for him. You're going to play his way. The only player that Larry Brown ever let play how he wanted to was AI. Because you ain't going to tell AI how to play any other type of way.
But he took AI to the finals. You know,
AI took him
coached
to the finals.
He coached to his talent.
Yeah, this is real.
This is real. That was a good team, and man, that team reminded me of when the Pistons got in the 04 because the 76ers won that first game and then got swept out. When the Pistons won the first game, it was like, all right, don't rest on your laurels. And I think that was a lesson that Larry Brown learned that we got the benefit of in 2004.
Crazy thing is that Pistons-Lakers series should have been a sweep.
Oh, 5-game sweep.
That's what they call it, a 5-game sweep.
It's the dumbest move I've ever seen. You let Shaq inbound the ball. No, I take that back. You let Shaq catch the inbounds ball, and then you don't foul him. You allow Shaq to pass it to Mamba as he's in court for that BS in Denver. You gave the ball to him? Oh, my God. They deserve to lose that game.
Well, this is a fun debate, which I'm sure is going to carry on around this office, and I'm sure on the air a bunch because everybody's pretty passionate about this. Just the optics look bad that you're the only team to win a championship without a top 75 player, but it's also kind of a compliment and a tribute to what that team was all about.
I think that represents what they were to its core, and it's tough to accept that and at the same time want them on at the same time. They were going to work Pistons. They didn't let anybody score over 100. They themselves, they weren't a team where somebody was averaging 25 and 19. None of them were averaging in the 20s.
Right.
So they were a team that didn't have that. So with that being said, they were the epitome of the team wins. With that being said, you can't put one of those guys in 75 because none of them had the stats or the backing to prove it.
I'll tell you this much. If the NBA comes out with like some top 10, top 15 greatest
teams
and that team not on there,
yeah,
we got problems.
We should make that list.
Yeah.
Actually, Corey,
there you go.
Corey,
you
throw that up on woodwardsports.com. We'll start the waves around the nation. We'll clown every other team because we know damn well those 04 Pistons were nothing to mess with. Braylon, coming up next, there's a position in football I think you know a little bit about. It's called wide receiver. It's where the guys catch the ball.
Yeah.
You're familiar with it?
I think so. I think I am familiar with that.
Well, there's a question I want to ask you about the Lions and their wide receiver core, and I want to do that next. You good with that?
Let's do it, man. Let's keep Corey here too, man. That's his neck of the woods.
Corey knows a little bit about the Lions,
the Detroit Lions, man. I have to defer to my boy on that one. Go ahead and stretch.
Yeah, get ready, Corey. So we'll talk about that coming up next on The Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. That is Braylon Edwards, and tell him the name of the show.
Woodward Sports Network, The Bottom Line. Book it.
Burr!
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet. The Woodward Sports Network.
You know it's a good thing to do, Stick, when you got all this pent-up aggression, all this energy, this testosterone flowing as we're talking about who's better, who's here, who should go here. It's to take yourself somewhere and work out, but not anywhere.
Oh, okay, good.
But not anywhere. No, I wasn't going there. I mean, that typically works too. But that's not where I was going. I was talking about Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating environment. It's nothing like just going working out and doing your own thing, working out at your own pace, just chilling, not having to worry about people pointing and saying, look at that guy over there, or look at that girl over there. They don't do that at Planet Fitness. You might want to check it out. Join in club or online at www.planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness near you. Because you know why? Over 2,000 locations worldwide. I didn't say the state. I didn't say the contiguous United States of America. I said worldwide. $10 a month or black card, $22.99 or $0 down if you go in person. Remember, your fitness is essential with Planet Fitness.
Yeah, I just got my black card too. So
same here. So you know about the amenities, $22.99.
Oh, the massage chairs, all that good stuff. You can bring a friend.
Hydro massage.
I love the hydro massage chair. I love that.
Yeah, it's almost like 2 for 1 though, because you can bring a friend every time too. So
every that's like a free membership.
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to get free membership. I was at Lifetime, and every time those 2 were up for the month, they were like, no. Lifetime.
Lifetime,
you
you got
kick
money.
rocks.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's listening on the Roar right now and everybody who has downloaded our app, which is free and available right now in the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search Woodward Sports Network. Kind of teased it before we went to break, but wide receiver core for the Lions is kind of a big topic of what we're going to do going into the next year. And Braylon, there's been some tweets about certain guys we should draft, and I believe you put one up, or you quote tweeted about Mike Williams. This was
I
the
do
tweet.
that a lot now.
Yeah,
tweet.
This was the tweet that you retweeted. How would you feel the Lions started off 2022 season with these top 4 wide receivers? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Williams, who was a free agent from the Chargers, Drake London, who we would have to draft, and Josh Reynolds. And you retweeted that, and you said, don't forget my boy Quintez Cephas, though.
I definitely said, don't forget Quintez Cephas. You and I have both been high on Quintez Cephas since he was at Wisconsin.
Yep.
Man, I can't even bring up Wisconsin without thinking about what happened on Sunday. But Quintez Cephas is a guy. Let's start. I would like that. The Lions, they need a wide receiver core that can help Jared Goff make the most of his opportunities, to ease the game from him, and to go along with the backfield that we'll have with Swift, Williams, whoever they want to keep in the backfield, Reynolds, whoever they decide to keep in that backfield, we'll see. But to go alongside with Swift, this could be a good wide receiver core. And the reason why I like it so much is very possible. You know, Mike Williams is a guy, he's up free agent. He's out of San Diego. Not San Diego, excuse me. The Los Angeles Chargers. Should be San Diego still, but the Los Angeles Chargers, he's a guy gonna win most 50-50 balls. If not, you'll get pass interference out of him. Can get the ball, get down the field. Not necessarily a burner, but he's a deep threat. He's a guy that can stretch the field. He's a guy that can get you some 50-50 balls down the field and extend plays. That gets you on the other side of the 50. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you saw what he's able to do.
Great possession.
And this is him by himself.
Right.
This is pretty much Amon-Ra St. Brown by his kind of self last year, trying to figure it out. Now imagine you put him with his former teammate, Drake London. A guy out of USC, 6'5".
And they've been tweeting each other back and forth publicly, like, hey, man, can't wait to play with you again and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you get him, play again on the same team again. You got another guy that can stretch the field, another 50-50 jump ball winner. These guys have chemistry. These guys play together. And then last but not least, Josh Reynolds is the guy that came on strong. Jared Goff knows him well from their 4 years in Los Angeles. You see how the team changed. Corey, I'll bring this to you. You see how the team changed when Josh Reynolds got here. Not just from the wide receiver room, but definitely that wide receiver room. Talk about Josh Williams and then getting Quintez Cephas back off IR.
Quintez Cephas, you know, we really didn't really get to see much of him in his what he can really do. I mean, he looked like he was about to try to get off in that Packers game, and then boom, collarbone injury. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. I do like the idea of drafting up Drake London. You know, him and Amon-Ra got their rapport. But Mike Williams, I'm kind of out on. I mean, they already went ahead and tried signing an injury-prone receiver when they got Tyrell Williams last year. That didn't particularly work out, and that was a guy that they thought was going to come into the season being the number 1. So I'm kind of like backing off on that. I would love to see if they can pull it off. I don't know what kind of money they have and what kind of money he'll be commanding, but I would love to see Allen Robinson try to bring him back into the fold and get him back home. But Josh Reynolds, they got to bring him back.
Yeah.
You seen when they signed Josh. First off, let's talk about what happened when Josh Reynolds went ahead and hit the waiver. There were reports that what Josh Reynolds said, Jared Goff hit him up and said, hey, did we claim you yet? That guys obviously have a report. You saw Jared Goff become a more comfortable quarterback when Josh Reynolds got out there, because when they got Josh Reynolds, that wasn't the Jared Goff you saw the first 8 games of the season. The first start half of the season. You start to see him become more comfortable throwing balls his way, and you got a guy who knows the team, knows the offense. I think that he should be a priority to bring back.
A lot of things started to come together when Josh Reynolds joined the lineup. Like, not only that, you know, Taylor Decker came back a couple of games later. Dan Campbell took over the play calling, and it just seemed like those 4 things that kind of happened all within the same couple weeks is really what propelled the Lions to actually finish strong on the season. So I do love keeping Josh Reynolds. Really, out of all those 4 wide receivers, you're kind of just rotating in who that restricted free agent or that free agent is that you want to bring in. And I got a list of the 2022 free agents here, and I want to go around with you guys to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But what you got, Braylon?
Yeah, before we get that, I just want to say one thing. Like, Allen Robinson is a guy I really like. I know he's from here. He's homegrown. We talked about that on Monday. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Penn State University.
Eaglets.
So we talked about that. The problem with him, I think his tag is going to be more than Mike Williams. And Mike Williams, he got hurt. Tyrell Williams ain't never done what Mike Williams done. Mike Williams was the man in college. Mike Williams was also
great
the man.
at Clemson,
exactly.
man.
He was the
Wasn't for that
man.
back injury?
You see what
Ugh.
I'm saying? He was a man at Clemson. Then he also had some time split as the man out there in L.A. He had Keenan. Keenan to me is one of my favorite route runners in the NFL, so it's hard to go against him. But I think he's a guy that's looking for like that breath of fresh air. He's looking for a place. He's looking for someone to believe in.
He runs the route tree.
Exactly.
And you saw when
and-
Herbert became the quarterback, he started to use him.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say about Josh Reynolds. Another reason why the success started to happen with Jared Goff is when you started to see Josh Reynolds ran the routes like Jared Goff was accustomed to seeing them.
Right.
Josh Reynolds has run the routes. He knows the tree. He knows the way that Jared likes to throw the ball because of their time. So when he got here, the other wide receivers were able to see it and start like, okay, we got to do this. Or we need to break it off exactly at 18. We need to come here. When you, as a quarterback, you have guys that run it the way that you're used to, run it the way that you're comfortable with, it easily goes into we're here. You can close your eyes and do it. And I think that's what he brought to the team is that familiarity of closing my eyes and being on the same page.
Yeah, Gromit's saying Burks may even drop in the draft. I don't think the Lions have a shot at getting Burks. Treylon's going to be the first wide receiver off the board, in my opinion, and I don't think we don't stretch and get him at 2. That's for damn sure. And we don't wait, and he's not going to be there at 32. I wish he would because I love the way Burks plays. But, okay, let's run through this list real quick.
Let's see what we got.
And, we just discussed Allen Robinson, but I'm also going to give you their age and how much they command salary cap-wise, too, because that's got to be part of this equation, right? Allen Robinson, 28 years old, $18 million against the cap. Thumbs up for Braylon. Corey's undecided.
I'm thumbs up in that because I won't have something to say after all of them, but just this one because he's a Detroit guy. We got to give him a little more love. Is that $18 million? You're going to have to spend money to be good. Like in some places, you're going to have to spend some dollars. And if it's $18 million for Allen Robinson, somebody's still under that 30, still 28, you got to go for it. $18 million, you got to go for it. You got to have to spend money.
Yeah.
It takes money to make money. Stretch money. Shout out.
Shout out to Stretch Money. We got about 14 more names on this list, so here's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get your thumbs up and thumbs down for the rest of the the unrestricted free agents going into the 2023 NFL season. This is The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. We have Corey in here, Sam Flannel, Alex, and of course, that is Braylon Edwards. And we will be right back.
Let's do it. Don't forget about those patches on the Lions uniform. We'll talk about that too.
We'll talk about that too.
The bottom line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Definitely got to make it through the cold, and one way to kill some of these cold days is be inside a nice heated warehouse while you're having fun, getting some beer in you, and, whatever cocktail they have there at the bar. And I'm talking, of course, about the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. It's the first of its kind. This dude invented Foaling. His name is Chris Hutt, and they do such a great job of entertaining. And you know what? It's something when you have friends coming in town, too. Like, it's kind of like a reflection of Detroit. It's in a warehouse that used to produce automobiles. You could still smell that like oil in the air. Like it's just a really cool ambiance. So if you're looking for something cool to do, something to feed your soul, make sure you go to Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. Let them know that Woodward Sports sent you, and maybe they'll hook you up with a $2 mystery beer. Maybe we can get that worked out for you. So yeah, Foaling Warehouse, register today and reserve your lanes.
I was very surprised when I did my mystery beer. I got Coke 45. Like, okay, give me a little Billy D action right there.
Man, they knew what they were doing. They're like, oh, Billy D's here? Oh, damn, what's up, Lando?
What's up, Lando?
Here's a Colt 45. So before we went to break, we were talking about free agents that the Lions can pick up to kind of beef up their wide receiver core. Mike Williams was talked about. I'm just running down this list right now, and this guy is somebody that I'm interested in, and I'm shocked at how young he is still. Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
He's not even 26 years old, but you're talking a salary cap hit of about $16 million. Are you thumbs up or thumbs down on Chris Godwin?
A thumbs up because I think he's going to ask for more money. I think he's going to get more money because he is young. It's an ACL tear. They happen all the time. I tore my ACL literally rookie year. That's 2005, and I came back and started that next year. So they're not with their UCB. He'll come back. He still has a lot left to play. His tag is because when they mention him, like Chris Godwin was the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah.
A couple times over.
Better than Evans and AB?
At one point, yeah.
Okay.
At one point he was, especially if you look at the year that Godwin had before Tom Brady got there. Godwin was the man. He was the only one that made the Pro Bowl. Mike Evans didn't make the Pro Bowl the year before Tom got there in 2019. Godwin did. Come back the next year. Godwin made it again. So he's got a lot less. He's already done a lot. But his price tag and just coming off, it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be upwards of 20.
Yeah, I think that price tag is scary for me, but also, too, with you said him still being young, he can still relate to that young wide receiver locker room, and he knows what it takes to win. So I think that would be a really big influence on that Lions locker room if they can get him. It's all about the number, though.
Yeah.
How many years
That's
do you sign a guy
invaluable.
like Godwin to? You know, because some of these guys we'll get to them, they're a little long in the tooth, so maybe they're like a 1-year contract. Godwin, to me, is like a guy that you
5.
can – yeah, I was going to say that. You build
Option
around.
after 3.
Okay.
I do 5 3-year option.
Godwin and Reynolds, with Amon Ra, that's
Drake London maybe, because I think Drake's gonna slide. You know, I don't even think you need to take Drake with that 32nd pick. I think Drake
probably get him in like the third,
the 34th. You think third?
Okay.
Well, you know what? Let's see what happens next week because the combine is coming up. So we'll see whether his stock rises or drops.
This is true.
All right, next on the list, 29 years old, about $14.5 million against the cap, Devontae Adams. And I mean, to me, if you can get Devontae Adams, you get Devontae Adams.
Oh, yeah,
He ain't coming.
Yeah, no, he ain't coming. So I think it's 15-6 to sign the free agent tag, which the Green Bay Packers are going to do. I think regardless if Aaron Rodgers comes or not, and that's why another reason I had a problem with Aaron Rodgers' whole long spiel of, appreciating players after my putting chakra cleanse that we'll talk about as well, which is a very nasty cleanse. They should have made that public. But he should tell them what he wants to do now. If you believe and love those players like you say you do, then don't hold those guys hostage. But Devontae Adams, man, you're looking at $30 million wide receiver, so he ain't coming here.
I am not going to even. I'm going to say no because I'm not about to even let my mind drift there. No,
it's like the hot chick you see at the bar. Like, I ain't even going to try.
I want y'all to know, I'm not saying no to his talent. I'm just saying no to the idea because I'm not going to let my mind. I'm not even going to just let that thought creep in my head.
All right, 27, almost 28 years old, Will Fuller, about $10 million against the cap. This is some guy I thought the Lions possibly could have traded for last year. I thought that was I believe there were rumors about that too. They didn't go up and get him, but Corey, you think?
Yeah,
Will Fuller?
I mean, that was a guy I thought they were going to get last year. I'm on the same page. I got to go back and look at some more tape of what he did this season because the Texans were. They were
trash.
Texans. They were really trash. So if you can, he's a guy that I would take a chance on, depending on what number you can get him at. You can bring him in here. He's shown that he's a reliable receiver. But again, it's all about the number.
Yeah, Will Fuller's definitely a guy I feel the same way about Notre Dame. You look at what he did. Deshaun's last year there, Will was balling. Will held it down, especially once DeAndre Hopkins left 3 years ago.
Right.
Will Fuller was the guy that kind of held it down for Deshaun Watson in that offense down there in Texas. So he's a guy I like, but once again, it comes down to what's that number looking like. But I wouldn't mind him at all because he's a guy that's one of those mid-range receivers, like 6'2", 6'1.5", but can run and can play big too. So he kind of gives you 2 for 1.
He's reliable.
Yeah, 100%.
Here you go, a former Jet, which I know you love, Braylon. Jamison Crowder, 28 years old, almost 29, a little bit under $10 million a year.
I'm cool.
You good?
I'm good on Crowder.
Hard pass for everybody in the room. What the hell did Jamison Crowder do to any of you?
He doesn't show up consistently.
For one, I wasn't really a fan of his play this season, or really at any point. And if you want to get personal, he cost me in fantasy. So double no.
The thing about it is I know he played with a couple different quarterbacks last year. Last year he played with 3 different quarterbacks. He played with Wilson, he played with Flacco, and he played with White. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah. He played with Mark White.
Mike White.
He played with Mike White. He played with 3 different quarterbacks. So it's always tough to get used to 3 different cadences, 3 different types of pass, 3 different whatevers. But you still can get open. Like, that's one thing that the quarterback has nothing to do with is you getting open. I saw him look to be in spaces where he didn't create separation a lot this year. So, no thank you.
T.Y. Hilton, 32 years old.
Nah.
But you're going to get him at a value probably this year. I mean, he's coming off not a great season as he was injured. You taking this type of risk on a veteran like that, or is it not worth the squeeze?
whenever you're dealing with a veteran, it always provides that veteran experience. T.Y. Hilton is one of the most underrated receivers for a long time. And that Andrew Luck era, kind of end of Peyton, the beginning of Andrew Luck, very underrated, didn't get the credit he deserved. He was going off every year. But fast forward, you're talking 32, he'll be 33 this year. I'll pass. Like that experience is invaluable, but I'll pass on that one.
I think T.Y. Hilton is just a name. He is the type of player that the previous Lions regime would pick and sell you on, and like, oh, this guy's going to be a game changer. No, go ahead.
Show
I would
you
rather them go ahead and just
ago.
stick with this youth movement, get guys that are under 30, or draft somebody. I do not want to see the Lions pick up any wide receiver that is over 30. I think that's going backwards.
You don't want them to bring back Brandon Marshall?
No Emmanuel Sanders?
Emmanuel Sanders will be a different story because I believe he was he was still showing he was
he had a better year than
He's
Stephon
35
Diggs.
years old.
You said
35 years old.
He had a better year than Stephon Diggs.
Oh,
35 years old.
I mean, I wouldn't bring him either, but I'm just saying, if you're going to go old, get somebody who's out there still putting up numbers.
The hell with Emmanuel Sanders. He caught the pass and got the first down in the AFC Championship and lost his game, so he kissed my ass.
Well, here's another guy that I think is a very interesting, intriguing young guy that Lions could potentially build around.
No.
You follow him on TikTok.
No.
You know him.
No.
You love him.
No.
Juju Smith-Schuster, baby.
No. Hell no. Thank you. I appreciate that one. Hell no.
Why hell no?
We talked about this the other day. My biggest problem with Juju Smith-Schuster, I know he's young. I know you make mistakes. I know you grow into who you're talking to me. I made a lot of mistakes. The one thing that I didn't make a mistake on is loving my first job. My job was football. Like, football is what they brought me into the NFL to do. Football is what got me money to buy jewelry, to buy cars, to let women chase me. Like, that all comes with playing football first, going to practice, making that your focal point. Not the other way around. Not trying to be famous and then trying to figure football out. He cares more about being viral on social media than he does about working and getting to the bottom of how do I get back good? How do I get like my first 2 years? His first 2 years, he was amazing in the NFL. Right. And then after he got into it with AB, he proved AB wrong that 1 year when he became Mr. 90-yard touchdown. He had 3 years.
Remember the story about his stolen bike and how he was able to find it in Pittsburgh?
That was his first year.
Like, that's the kind of guy you want on the team, right?
You also want a guy on the team who's not going to do a crates challenge 2 days before training camp starts. He did the crate challenge. Let me look into the camera. Hell no on Juju Schuster. This man did the crate challenge last year, 2 days before the training camp started. And guess what? You see that? That's the same face that everybody in Pittsburgh made. They were like, what the hell are we doing with this guy at USC? You know what? Get him out of here.
Corey?
2 reasons why it's a hard-ass pass.
Because he can play when he's playing.
For one, he did all of this in Pittsburgh. What the hell you think he gonna do in Detroit with all of this temptation? Remember,
Andre Drummond on a Saturday night.
I don't want to sandbag anybody, but Andre Drummond and Eric Ebron were in the club life. You know it.
Oh, I know.
Imagine what Juju's gonna do here and all that TikTok.
Juju is gonna get with what's his name? Jay Floyd.
Bravo.
He gonna get with Bob.
He about to be a 29
Jay Floyd,
Dre,
Annex. Nah.
Yeah, why don't we want him here? Then we get to party with him.
Jay Neely.
Yeah, and then the second reason,
we're going to reopen Good Life Lounge just for Juju.
The second reason is that I actually like Dan Campbell, and I think that if you put Juju Smith in that locker room, Dan Campbell might kill him. So, no.
Yeah.
Well, those are pretty much the main free agents that are available. A.J. Green's on here, but I don't think we want the ghost of A.J. Green, do we?
He did good. He looked good last year, and actually he had a very smooth role that they put him in. He said, hey, man, former number one, we're going to put you against the guy, put you on the opposite side of the guy that's arguably the number one wide receiver right now, DeAndre Hopkins. He played well in that role until D-Hop got hurt.
Yeah, to me, A.J. Green's the anti-Stafford. Like, you leave, you go to an organization, you tank that, and then your other team goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
That's the only reason I'm glad. That's the only reason I'm glad the Bengals didn't win, because that would have been so heartbreaking for him.
Oh, so salty if you're A.J. Green. All right, well, that's the free agent talk. There's a couple more on here. We already discussed Mike Williams. There's Sammy Watkins, Keelan Cole, Albert Wilson, Zay Jones. Those guys are all interesting, but I don't think really worth too much of a conversation here.
Zay Jones is an interesting one. Not for us, per se, because I feel like we have Quintez Cephas, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we are going to pick up one. But Zay Jones is a very interesting one for a couple franchises. Don't be surprised if he signs a decent sized one in Las Vegas.
Can I cause a little controversy in here?
Always.
I want to preface my comments by saying, one, don't believe he's coming here, and I, two, don't believe there's a chance in hell he's coming here. Same thing I'm saying it 2 times differently. OBJ?
Oh.
If you can get him on, because the thing is,
Right.
I don't know if the Rams are going to bring him back because of that tear, and you're obviously going to get him on a super discount.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if he's not getting any offers, do you at least see what he's talking about?
I think, to me, he's totally changed the way I think about Odell Beckham Jr. Like, I'll be the first to admit I thought he was the problem in New York, thought he was a little bit of part of the problem in Cleveland. It turns out dude was not part of the problem. He's part of the solution to get you a damn Super Bowl.
He is, but you're talking about an individual now. This will be year 9 for Odell, I believe, coming up, and you're talking about 2 ACL tears on the same exact knee within a snapshot of 15 months. That's a tough sell.
Bargain shopping, baby.
I know he's not coming. Like I said, he's not coming.
Oh, no. But it could happen, to be honest, because he could be looking for a place to play. I just think that's tough for the Lions organization and franchise to actually make that move. You're talking about 2 ACL tears, same exact knee, within 15 months. Oh, by the way, we're a field turf stadium. Nah, you don't want to put that AC on that field turf.
Just wanted to ruffle some feathers here real quick.
Well, thank you for that, Corey. Thank you for sitting in for this first hour as well.
No problem.
We got to discuss Phil Mickelson and about how he put his foot in his mouth and cost himself a lot of money. And we're going to discuss that coming up next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. This is
The Bottom Line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
SMA has been leveraging relationships with notables and other athletes for over a decade now. I, being one of them, understand the mission that is the sports marketing agency, and that is to provide you with with support surrounding the issues of mental health and substance use disorder. Myself, Lomas Brown, Michael E., Devin Gardner, University of Michigan, just to name a few. With the help of an NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Soon coming, actually, it's already coming. Yesterday, Sports Marketing Agency launched their first podcast episode. This is the F word, and the F word is fentanyl. That episode yesterday was taped, not released yet, but it was taped. So excited to be a part of that with Sean. If you are struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Once again, let's go to thesportsma.com. If you're struggling, you know somebody that is where you can receive some help. Somebody will be there to help you.
Yeah, it's going to be a great podcast right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
With these serious issues sometimes, man. And it gives some people some help, gives the people some idea what's going on surrounding those issues. They see them all the time on social media.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't understand them. Sometimes they make jokes about them. Once you understand what it is, then you can move from there.
A lot of those issues are issues that if they haven't touched your life personally, you really don't understand the depths of them.
Right.
And, those are important things to discuss. And, really as a network, I love how, we got things like the Woodward Heavyweights, which is Easy and Spence back there just being big dudes doing what they do. And then, of course, we're covering everything from that to fentanyl and drug addiction because it's all relevant, I think, in everybody's lives. Everybody has layers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
No one's just tuning into us for just sports all the time. I hope you are liking the sports content that we cover because to me, sports are therapy.
Yeah.
It's something I turn to be entertained and to get my mind off the hard things in my life. And I'm sure you have hard things in your life, no matter if you are an ex-NFL wide receiver or a college grade at University of Michigan. We all struggle with something.
I think it's good, too, for our network because, the people that listen to us, whether they watch us, whether they listen to us, everybody out there, like you said, is going through something. And everybody is necessarily sometimes trying to run from things. They come to us to watch sports so they don't have to deal with it for a second. But we're telling you, no, don't run from it.
Right.
Deal with it, but this is how you deal with it, per se. So I definitely love that.
Yeah, discussion is the only way to get anywhere on anything.
Yeah.
So be open to what you're hearing from other people and other vantage points. Unless their name is Phil Mickelson. Then you don't have to take him seriously on any level.
Oh, my God.
I'm not sure if you guys have been following the story about Phil Mickelson, but he's lost a couple big sponsors already. Kawasaki has pulled from him. And it says Phil Mickelson and longtime sponsor, that's Kawasaki, agreed to mutually part ways after controversial comments made by the 6-time major champion. And Alex, do you have the comments that he made? Here we go. And although it doesn't look this way now, given my recent comments, my actions throughout this process have always been with the best interests of golf, my peers, sponsors, and fans, Mickelson wrote, and I believe this was his apology. There is a problem with off-the-record comments being shared out of context without my consent, but the bigger issue is that I used words that do not reflect my true feelings or intentions. Then why the hell did you use those words? It was reckless. I offended people, and I am deeply sorry for the choice of my words. I am beyond disappointed, and I will make every effort to self-reflect and learn from this. And that's a fine apology for a 20-year-old. But you're a grown-ass man.
Listen, man, first of all, I'm gonna read you what the big issue was, what Phil said, but what I'm going to start with, hear me out. Alex, go ahead and get the one camera on me. Get just the right here.
Look at that beautiful face.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm scoot over. Alex probably mad because I move a lot during the show. Here it is. You guys ready for this? Very simple. In 2022, moving forward, here we are close to March. When you say something, stand by what you say. Don't apologize because somebody caught you, and now you might lose sponsors. Now you might lose some likes. Now you might lose some followers. Guess what? Lost them anyway. Guess what? Gonna lose more now after you apologize, and it's a BS apology like the one you gave, which just was a bunch of words. Once you say something, whether it's on the record or off the record, once you said it in private or it got snuck out or you said it to the media and you didn't realize it was gonna get that type of backlash, stand on what you say in 2022. No more of this, oh, I apologize for what I said. You apologize because it came out. That is not the exact same. And what was said is this. In which Mickelson expressed no reservations about working with the Saudis despite the 2018 murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi, which a United Nations probe determined was a premeditated execution for which Saudi Arabia is responsible. They're scary to get involved with, said Mickelson. About working with the Saudis on the new league. We know they killed Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over things over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it? ? Because it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. What the hell in there was taken out of context?
That seems pretty well thought out. That seems like you're well aware of what is going on politically in that land, and you're just saying, yeah, but golf though, right? I mean, we got to promote golf, right?
Listen, Phil, it's okay. You're 53, 55. You went over there. You said, hey, looks like some good money. Looks like some good coin. Because over in Saudi Arabia, they are throwing dollars like it is nothing, because it is nothing for that oil money over there. They're throwing dollars on top of dollars. He got caught up in the hype. And then he made a comment that he believes in. He said, you know what? Hey, I know they killed him, and I know this, and I know they are doing some things over there which are
I know they kill people for being gay, but, we really got to get golf out there.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a good opportunity. Right. But it's a good opportunity. Shut up, Phil. You know what? At the end of the day, don't apologize. Stand by what you mean. You said some immoral stuff, but you're not the only one. Just stand on it. That's all I would ask you to do.
And you know what? After Phil Mickelson was here this summer and went through everything we did with the Rocket Mortgage Classic and, all of us trying to get Phil Mickelson back to Detroit, to me, this is more than disappointing. And here's a tweet by Brandel Chamblay. It's just read Phil Mickelson's statement. It's 6 paragraphs. The first paragraph sets the stage for him being a victim. The second paragraph is him pretending to be an activist. The third and fourth paragraphs are about to spin and damage control money, and the fifth and sixth are him saying he's a good guy. So it's not really an apology, right?
No, it's not.
because he really feels this way.
You're
So
right.
I don't think he feels like he has to come out with an apology. It's more like, hey, man, I had a closed-door conversation. It's like Donald Sterling bitching about him being racist back in the day. Like, hey, no, this was just me and my boy
It was
fooling
taken
around.
out of context.
Like, no, it wasn't taken out of context. You're an idiot.
Y'all weren't supposed to know that I was using the N-word. Y'all weren't supposed to know that.
That's the translation. You weren't supposed
You weren't
to know
supposed to
that.
know. It wasn't supposed to get out.
That's the perfect translation for what
Man,
he's trying to say.
Listen, Phil, at the end of the day, stand on your morals. Stand on your words, not the moral. Stand on your words, because there are a lot of people that feel the same way as you. Why don't you feel that way? Be out and open with it. Be confident. Be comfortable. Why live this double life? And then it has to get out there, and now you got to be like, no, that wasn't me. That was my twin.
Right. I didn't expect people to hear it. Well, it doesn't matter. You still said it, right, Corey?
Yeah. I just, for the life of me, don't understand how athlete after athlete after athlete keeps getting tripped up over saying stupid crap publicly. And I mean, first off, what he said was terrible.
Yeah.
But as you said, don't backtrack. What you said is not hard to, is not misinterpreted. It's black and white. It's plain. Stand on your words.
Yeah. And
I just don't get it.
It's one of those things. And don't get me wrong. I'm not up here. I'm not claiming to be holier than thou. There's some things that I've said. There's some things I've said, and it came out.
But not like that, bro.
No, hell no, not like that. But
like,
I mean,
we've all said dumb things, but never like, yeah, they kill people. But I want to promote golf.
Exactly. Like, you know what? I know it's dirty money essentially, but it's okay. I don't mind dirty money. Like, just stand on it. At the end of the day, you know what? I apologize. It got caught. It came out.
Yep.
That's the new apology in 2022. Whether you're a commentator, because there've been some commentators like, oh, I didn't know that was acceptable. Really imitating Shohei Ohtani, like that's acceptable in the old school Chinese rhetoric voice. So if you get caught, just say this. Hey, that's how I feel.
Right. Own it. Own it.
Then move from there.
And then move from there. Right. And then we won't be having this conversation of like, come on, bro. It's
not like we're going to be like, all of a sudden Phil Mickelson is not one of the best golfers of all time because he feels that way. You and a bunch of people feel that way. Just be a man and stand on it, though.
Yeah. Well, the Lions are going to do something with their uniforms. And I love Braylon's reaction to this already.
From one blunder to another.
And if you don't know what it is, we are going to discuss it next. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani right here on the Woodward Sports Network. That is Braylon Edwards, and this is
The Bottom Line with Sam and Alex and my boy, Corey Woods, filling in. Appreciate you guys.
K Woods.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
All right, so we got like 2 days of nice weather. We got to see the sunshine a little bit, and it's like, oh man, summer's going to be here. And you know what? It's not here yet, and the only way to get sun, the only way to get that vitamin D, the only way to get a nice tan is to go to Chili Peppers Tanning. And I'm telling you, this is like therapy, man. You go in there, you lay down for 5 minutes, you get all warm under the sun, and it makes you feel good. And plus, you walk in, it smells like that coconut suntan lotion. Ooh,
coconut.
One of my favorite smells in the world. Just takes you to a beach. So if you're looking for a fake vacation, but it'll make you feel good, why not? 5 minutes, go to Chili Peppers. A vacation. That's what Chili Peppers Tanning is, because it makes you feel like you're right on the beach. You're getting that tan, and you're feeling and looking good. They got locations all over Metro Detroit. We just did a live broadcast at their new one in Berkeley. That's just south of 12 Mile, right here on Woodward Avenue. So if you're thinking about getting a little warm up, make sure you go to Chili Peppers and ask them about the Pepper Club. Well, they'll beat all competitors by $5. Woo. Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody listening on The Roar, everybody that's watching on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like. We'd love to see those likes piling up, and we'd love to see everybody commenting in the comment section on YouTube. Twitch as well. We've got a lot of people watching on Twitch, and of course, Twitter. So thank you guys very much for that. I want to get back a little bit into Lions talk. We spent a good amount of time talking about the wide receivers that the Lions could get. The Lions are thinking of modifying their uniforms. And I think a lot of people want like the all-black uniforms back, or we've had a couple artist renditions.
Kevin Jones uniform.
Yeah, that we've thrown them up on our social media here at Woodward Sports, and people seem to like throwback uniforms. The pewter helmets and that type of stuff.
Nope.
But the Lions are thinking of putting a crest on their uniforms.
Like Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah. Well, at least they'd have one of those.
Like a crest, like Harry Potter?
Like a patch.
Okay.
Correct. Like a patch.
Where the Commanders were trying to go to?
Exactly.
And then they made a mistake and got a year wrong on them. That's why they had to
There
redo
we
the
go.
crest?
And it would be the championship years for Detroit football. Not Super Bowl champions, because we've never won a Super Bowl championship, but we've had championship teams here. It was in the 50s. I wasn't alive during that time, but it happened, I hear.
Okay. So
how do you feel about the Lions putting a patch on their uniforms, celebrating victories from damn near 70 years ago?
Okay, so the first thing, I want to ask Corey and Alex and Sam what they feel about the patch itself. But just looking at it as, snapshot real quick, why the hell do we want to remind the other states and cities around the country that we haven't won a championship since the 50s? That we have 4, and the first one was in the 30s when the league first came into existence. Why would we want to openly remind people of that? Why would we openly invite people to take more jokes and shots than they already do with that patch? Hell no. Hell no. Like, why are we trying to promote world championships? Excuse me. Last time I checked, there's something called the Lombardi Trophy, and it represents the Super Bowl. Why are we trying to remind people of world championships? That was way too long ago.
Right, and this came about because the Commanders are doing it, and it got out there that, hey, the Lions may do this.
They
and
got Super Bowls.
A fan made that up, like kind of spoofing what they did.
Right.
But damn, man, I would rather have a not since 57 patch on the shirt. But Corey, what you thinking? Should we patch it up this year?
Trash.
Do we really need to add more to make the Lions a laughing stock? Just don't do it. Like, it's okay. Everybody knows who covers football that the Lions have an NFL championship. Don't remind people of how long ago it's been since the Lions have been great. What was that, back when they had leather helmets and whatnot?
I'm trying
let's not go back to that. The Lions do that. They are going to be a joke.
Last time they won a championship, they played at Tiger Stadium. Like, Bobby Lane and them were literally playing at Tiger Stadium. In the words of Bubba Dub, trash. Trash.
If they wanted to add a William Clay Ford patch, okay, I'm fine.
They already have that, right? Yeah. They still got the William Clay Ford.
He ain't done nothing either. I take that off too.
I mean, that's fine. Honor the team, or honor the team the year the team was founded, or that. Just going back to what when it was all black and white pictures and getting that kind of title. Who cares?
Get a nice graphic of like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson or something. Freak it. I don't know. Do something creative. At least when we think of them, we think of success. Not a patch that represents 1937 and then 19.
I can just see like the two guys that are still alive from when we won it, like going out rushing to buy that
just
patch.
Can't be alive.
Walker.
Can't. No, they definitely not in the Walker.
Man. Well, if the Lions do that, obviously, I don't think anybody in this room is supportive of it. Sam,
what do you think?
Oh, I'm absolutely not in support of it. I mean, these championships happened before there were even Super Bowls. You cannot commemorate them on a patch. That's absurd, ridiculous, terrible.
They were on the radio. Hey, most people listening to that championships were listening to it on the radio. It wasn't even TV. Like, what is going on?
Put a patch on there for the last time you won a playoff game. How about that?
1991. Put Eric Kramer on our chest. Heck yeah.
And then they got rid of Eric Kramer.
Yeah.
In good old Detroit Lions fashion, the guy that got you to the NFC Championship, you get rid of him and let him go to Chicago.
We need Scott Mitchell, man.
That was after, though. Chicago
at least they're consistent.
Later.
Anybody that does something significant here,
get out of here. What?
We Guardian Alarm.
You got a Hall of Fame career? Hey, we got to get him out of here. Get him out of here. Like,
stay out.
Stay out. But let's get semi-serious, but I don't want to get too serious. Just the patch itself. How are we with the patch if it does not have those 4, ancient years on them? Are we decent with a patch? I mean,
I like the established patch, and it's got the William Clay Ford on there. So, yeah, I don't mind. If you just stick with the center and nothing that's around the outside of it, I'm good with that patch.
You almost could lie to the fans, too, and say, because, this is the Motor City. It kind of looks like a wheel. It counts like a tire. So maybe, you got Penske that's around. Maybe Penske throws some money at the Lions this year.
Alex, we got a request for your opinion, Alex Mayer. What do you think
Someone
about the patch?
requested my opinion?
They did.
Absolutely not. Like you guys said, no need to remind people how sad of a franchise we are. Shout out to Lions Royalty on Twitter. He's the graphic designer that made this badge. And it's only because of the Washington Commanders they made a badge. And even the Washington Commanders shouldn't have a badge because they don't have that much winning to talk about either. Granted, they have more than the Lions, but still.
If you remove the dates at the bottom, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Remove the dates at the bottom, I'm cool.
And that's why I said, let me get back to it. Like, is it cool without the dates? You like it without the dates?
Take the dates off, I'm fine.
I think the patch itself is dope. Like, I think that's dope. I just think those, like, all I saw when I initially saw it, as a Detroiter, we know our dates. Like, we know what years and it's sports. Like, you talk about the Red Wings, talk about, like, we know the years.
Right.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God. Like, all I could see was the years. I couldn't even see, like, the graphic in terms of the artistry in terms of the graph.
So Sheila Ford-Hamp, if you're watching right now, please do not follow the road of the Washington. What are they? The Commanders now.
Commanders.
The Commandos. Just do not do it. We don't need those patches on our uniform. If anything, let's put a kneecap on our uniforms and call it a day with Dan Campbell. DC kneecaps
with a Starbucks cup.
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan. Put Tanya Harding on there, and it says kneecap
here,
hunter.
Crazy.
now we're cooking with heat.
With a shot of Pike. That's tough. And it happened here. You got to love that, man.
Oh, yeah. Detroit's where everything happened. I mean, NWA getting bum rushed off the stage. Nancy
Joe
Kerrigan.
Lewis strikes again.
Oh, Joe Lewis, legendary.
Joe Lewis strikes again, man. Whether it's NWA, whether it's Nancy Kerrigan, we don't discriminate.
Speaking of legendary, Michigan has a new football team, and the #1 overall pick is from your alma mater, Braylon Edwards.
Shea Patterson, man.
We are going to talk about Shea Patterson and the Michigan Panthers coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. Corey sitting in, and this is
The Bottom Line, where we don't believe in that patch with those numbers on it. But without the numbers, we believe in it, though. It's The Bottom Line.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, if you need some self-confidence, you're not feeling great about yourself, the quickest and best way to do it is get that haircut that makes you feel on top of the world. I had to sit down on Monday and get one from Melissa, who's normally sitting right behind Maz. And, she's great here at Lady Jane's. And pretty much all of their stylists, actually, not pretty much, all of their stylists are here at Lady Jane's. They're great. They know what they're doing, and they treat you like a king. That's why you can get your shoulder rubbed, your head massaged, and get that haircut that makes you feel spectacular. So if you're feeling down about yourself, better than therapy, come get yourself a haircut right here at Lady Jane's. They have locations all over Metro Detroit, and you can even be at the mothership right here at 15 Mile in Woodward and watching Woodward Sports live while you're getting your haircut. What's better than that? So make sure you walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. Talk about the mothership, man. You had me thinking about George Clinton and P-Funk. Oh. Man, I was flashlight.
You ever been to a P-Funk concert?
Yeah, I went to one in Cleveland. Like, they had, actually, most of them originated in Ohio. I went to one in Cleveland, House of Blues, 2006.
Okay. I saw him at Royal Oak Music Theater, and I saw him in Chicago at House of Blues too. Man.
Shows it, and the show. I saw him in Aspen too at Go Oho. Funny story before we get into it. Mm-hmm. I'm in Aspen, Colorado. This would have been January 2009. I'm in Aspen. We're going out. It's a ski trip, family, New Year's ski trip. We're having a good time. And so we're trying to find a place to watch the national championship. That was the year Florida played Oklahoma. Okay. That's when the first one that Tebow won was Chris Leak on that one? I think maybe that was the first one he won without Chris Leak. So anyway, we're trying to find a bar. We find a bar called Goldberg's. And so, we're like, all right, cool. You guys are showing national championship. We come back, get our table. We're sitting down, and a nice old lady. You know, she was just very warm. And she had that Midwestern energy, definitely Michigan type energy. And we're just talking to her. She's like, "You're a big guy." She's like, "Did you play football? Is that why you asked about the national championship game?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I play football." My son played football too. He's a wrestler. And it's like, I ignored the name of the place because you're thinking Aspen, Colorado.
Right.
Why would there be any connection to Goldberg? And so then when she says that, well, my son, Bill, I'm like
the Goldberg?
I'm like, so you mean to tell me your son's name is Goldberg? She was like, of course, if my last name, I said, no. You're whatever Goldberg. He's just Goldberg. Your son's Bill Goldberg. Guess who was in the back? Bill Goldberg.
That guy's a monster.
Watched the national championship with Bill Goldberg, and that dude head was just like a cane Corso. It was ridiculous.
Absolute monster.
I know you appreciate that. He was
That's
cool.
awesome. I love when random things like that happen.
I love that we were able to watch football, which was his first love. He played for the Atlanta Falcons. I love that we got a chance to watch that as opposed to wrestling because he was into the football game. I think wrestling would have been a little more annoying for him. I'd been asking questions like, so would you have spared him now or would you spare him later? Is it, whatever.
Do you, because you were a professional athlete, do you have, specific sports that you kind of fangirl off of, too? And, oh, you're a wrestler. I'm really into that. And you, dive in deep. Okay, wrestling. Your secondary?
Legitimately, when I went to the Big Ten Championship this past year, I'm getting on the plane to go to Indiana to go there, cover a little deal with Fox. And I see this dope Iowa hat, and it was a little scully. It was clean. I said, okay. I said, man, that's clean hat. And mask on and hat. All I see is eyes. This lets you know how dialed in I am. Guy responds. He says, man, appreciate it. I look, I'm like, Big E? Is that you? And it turned, it was Big E Langston, Etor Langston, a.k.a. Big E. And, man, he was cool. We developed a relationship. And it was funny because I went back and told all my boys to watch wrestling. I'm like, yo, you'll never believe. And I sent them the picture, and it's me and him, and, it's wrestling. And then he did the same thing. And then we didn't know that he was performing. He was doing a halftime show with us at Fox. So we started talking, and he was like, I went and told all my boys. I went up and told all my boys. So he wishes he was me, and I wish I was him. I wish I had the WWF strap, and he wished he was in the Pro Bowl. So it's great.
Yeah, that's the one thing I found because, I have a radio background working in the music industry a lot here in Detroit for a bunch of radio stations. And you always found that, rappers always want to be professional athletes.
Basketball, to be exact.
And professional athletes always want to be entertainers because, you'd be in clubs where these people would cross, you'd be at concerts, and it's just neat how other high-level professions can look at each other and have that type of respect.
That's crazy. It's funny because all football players wish they were basketball players. All basketball players wish they were football players. I can't dribble. I can dunk. I can do it. I'm clean. If you throw me out, you ask me to bring the ball to the court, it might be a turnover.
Well, you see Myles Garrett in that celebrity game throwing out windmills and stuff? Ooh, Myles Garrett's nasty on the basketball court.
Dribbling, too. You see he didn't dribble past 2 feet.
Well, let's get into talking about the Michigan Panthers. They were on the clock with the #1 overall pick in the USFL draft, and the excitement was building. Everybody was ready to go exploding. With the #1 pick, Shea Patterson.
I think I was a little late on that. Shea Patterson. Yeah, that was. I'm sorry. I was a little. We didn't really talk about that.
We got to watch Shea Patterson play at Michigan. He was supposed to be like Jim Harbaugh's quarterback that he was missing for a long time, but we've pretty much heard that about every starting quarterback for Michigan for the past 5-6 years. And he came here out of Mississippi. Really didn't perform the way we thought he was going to perform, but now obviously they see some potential in him in the USFL, and he's the #1 overall pick. How do you guys feel about that? And let me throw this in. Do you know who our last pick on the first day was? Paxton Lynch, who actually made it to the league.
He was with the Broncos.
With the Broncos.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's weird to me is we were able to get a guy who played in the NFL in the 8th round, but #1 out of anybody we could have ever picked, it's Shea Patterson.
This is interesting. Obviously, you look at #5 right there, the 5th pick overall is Clayton Thornton, if I remember correctly, is hold on. It was Evanston. I believe he's Northwestern. I think Clay Thornton was at North Carolina. Northwestern.
I mean,
anyway.
I was going through the first round, and there were like 3 colleges that I even recognized, let alone names.
That was a good thing we talked about. When we talked about this the other day when Maz was here, we were just basically saying the good thing and the fun thing about watching these type of drafts, whether it's the USFL, whether it's going to be the XFL, whether it was the Players League down there in Atlanta last year where you can kind of control it off Twitch, is seeing the names that are going to come up that you haven't heard in a while. It's like, man, it's going to be interesting to see who's floating around out there, who's not in the league, who's still around, who's still playing football. And Shea Patterson, one of the first names to come, or the first name off the board, is the guy that played in Michigan. I think this is a good pick for the Michigan Panthers. I think even in the NFL, it's hard to get a quarterback. It's hard to get a guy that played well in college. It's hard to get a guy that can be a back. It's hard to get it right. For you, your first pick in the USFL, the rebranding of the USFL, you drag Shea Patterson, the guy that played at Michigan, the guy that had over 4,000 yards passing at Ole Miss, guy that knows how to get the ball down the field. It'd been interesting to see him in this new Gator system from last year, but I think this is a good pick for the USFL. I'm excited for Shea Patterson to go off the board first.
Corey's excited. Look at that face.
Okay. I have a preconceived notion about this guy. I want to ask you, Braylon, because you were in the league. How do you feel about Shea Patterson with Jeff Fisher?
Well, I got in trouble talking about Shea Patterson a while ago, but this is a new start. This is a fresh start. I gotta imagine with a league like this, I gotta imagine there'll be some free range. Like he'll be able to run out of the pocket. He'll be able to do a lot of things that he did at Ole Miss. You know, Jeff Fisher's a guy that kind of lets his players play. Like Jeff Fisher's a guy that he's not a traditional guy. He doesn't just want to have a drop back quarterback. He doesn't just want to run the ball with Eddie George. Like he changed from the time that he was in Tennessee to the time that he was with the Rams in St. Louis. His offense changed. I know he's mad at Sean McVay right now, but his offense legitimately changed. I think Shea is fun. Shea is cool for him. And the fact that he wanted to be around the USFL after having success for 2 different franchises in the NFL, especially the Tennessee Titans, lets us know that he's laid back, he's cool, and he's going to kind of let players play. So I think Shea might have a lot of success.
All right, yeah, because I always go off of somebody's last stop, and I didn't think that Jeff Fisher was that great during his time with the Rams, especially his time with Goff.
Right.
I'm actually glad that this league is being played in Alabama because I think if, Goff saw, Jeff Fisher on the street, there might be some words. But
Aaron Donald definitely.
Damn well Goff ain't coming with words, man. He has security over here in Birmingham. You think he's going to accost Jeff Fisher?
Don't you talk to me that way.
It might be a scene like on Juice, when
the
I like Goff.
Scene.
I like Goff, but come on. He ain't flexing on anybody.
But, I mean, I think, it's a new start for everybody, new start for Patterson, new start for Fisher. I think it could be something that works, but, again, I just still have that bad taste in my mouth from what I last seen. But it's a new league. I think, like you said, it could be fun to see if you can let Patterson go out there and do what he does. And I think he's going to be playing with house money because it's no real expectation on him. So it's going to be curious to see.
Everybody coaching and playing in this league is playing with house money. Here's an interesting question for you, Stick. You talked about it, and you're right. Like that end of Jeff Fisher with St. Louis Rams, it was pretty bad. I think all I can remember was him and the Michael Sam incident because it just got brought up again with the John Gruden leaked emails. But let me ask you, Stick, if you're a guy, you had success with the Tennessee Titans, you went to a Super Bowl, you literally were an inch from winning that game, the infamous Kevin Dyson stretch, the Music City Miracle, and that season they beat the Buffalo Bills that year. And then why are you coaching in the USFL? Like, why is Jeff Fisher a notable name as a coach, an established coach in the NFL? Why are you coaching?
It's tough to get inside Jeff Fisher's head. Obviously, I don't know a ton about him and his family life and all that, but you want to believe that football guys are football guys, right? And you can't take that away from them. So if it wasn't USFL, it would probably be a local high school team because you see that all the time too. Like, man, this guy was a successful pro coach. Now he's coaching high school. So, I think once you're at that level, it bites you. It's in your blood. Like, eventually down the line, Braylon, I see you probably coaching somewhere. Like, I only played through high school, and I want to coach at least at some point. What we got here?
Breaking news: a friend of Woodward Sports Network just got drafted. I'll let you go ahead and break that, man.
Oh, Tywan Jones!
There you go.
Congratulations,
Michigan State
inside linebacker, round 21, pick 11. Ryan Armani texting us that on vacation.
Shout out to Ryan. I appreciate you. Look at Ryan. Always, never home, always working. I love it, though.
Maz on that conversation, too. So, getting a little more local love. And I think that type of stuff is important if you're trying to sell tickets too. So maybe that kind of went into part of the equation. Like, all right, we have a familiar face in Southeast Michigan. When we finally move there, maybe we'll be able to sell some tickets with the Shea Patterson.
Yeah, it's smart. Taiwan Jones is a guy that works hard. Hell, yeah, he owns a gym. And it's a guy that's always in his gym. we had him on the show back in, I want to say, November, Alex. We had him around the Michigan State game. Had him on the show. So that's a really good pickup for them. Like you said, it's all about name recognition. When you get into a league like this, it's name recognition. You start recognizing more players. Because also, too, if you're I would say a fan of the sport, like you're looking at Lions tickets and you're like, I don't know if I can take my baby to the Lions tickets, talking about like, taking my son or my daughter or my granddaughter or my grandson. But you're looking at a USFL game and you're like, I recognize Taiwan Jones. Like, Shea Patterson, you know what? Hey, you want to go to this USFL game? So I think that name recognition becomes real important when you're dealing with teams drafting players from the college and state.
And it's going to be interesting to see what city they play in when they do come to Michigan. Because I think, Corey, when we were doing the morning show together about a year ago, we were discussing what places could get a secondary franchise in Michigan. Grand Rapids was one of them because, they already have the developmental league there. Yeah. They already have a baseball team. Traverse City was something that we mentioned. Lansing was another one. There's a lot of places we could put another team.
And Grand Rapids is a beautiful city. It's really underrated out there. How it's growing and everything. So it's really underrated. I want to go back to one thing that you talked about why Jeff Fisher would join the USFL. I thought about something when you said his name. I'm like, why would he? And I'm thinking it's just because he loves the game. Because there's one guy who joined the XFL as a coach who is more accomplished than Jeff Fisher. And it was Bob Stoops. He was the coach of an XFL team, and he has a national championship in like what?
Stoops or his son? Or his brother?
No, Bob Stoops.
Bob Stoops?
Yeah, he was an XFL coach. He
now or like
in XFL 2.0.
Oh, okay, I got you. But you know what that's about. That's money.
Oh, man, but still.
Cash.
The XFL is looking good now that they partnered with the NFL, though. Like, I think that's going to give the XFL a lot of legs.
Shoot, well, why don't we take the commercial and come back and talk about it a little bit?
We can do that. I'll talk XFL and The Rock right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards, and the show name is
The Bottom Line. I like
Thanks
that
for watching and listening.
Little XFL talk. Never hurt nobody.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy drinks, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Citron is officially the energy drink of the Red Wings and the Detroit Lions, and also it is only sold at LCA. Citron is fashionable, functional, and fun. The 3 F's right there. Check out their stylish brand design with the unique crown and their cool bottle design. Citron is with you for all of your life's most memorable moments, birthdays, family reunions, you name it. We are there for it with Citron. Whether it's clinching playoff win, closing the big deal, or a fun night out, Citron is made for the celebrations. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Citron is your top choice. Buy it online at citronworld.com with promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. As I always say, drink it, live it with Citron.
And you were talking about celebrating, and we got to give a happy birthday shout out. His name is Jack. He's one of the owners of Wing Snob, which we had last week.
Oh, man, that was fire. That was that Friday before the Super Bowl.
That was. Got me geared up.
I love Wing Snob because they're one of the only places that do fried cauliflower wings, and I love it.
Yeah, so Wing Snob, happy birthday to Jack, which, he shares the same birth week as Braylon Edwards. So that's pretty awesome.
It's been a good week, man. Good week of birthdays.
It has.
That February, something about that February, that Valentine's Day through about, March 1st, March 2nd, there's a lot of birthdays in that snapshot. I mean, especially, that 17th, 18th. You got Jordan, Muhammad Ali, so Jim Brown. Some interesting birthdays right there.
And just in general in Michigan, like you start to get the vibe that, all right, summer's almost here. We made it through the darkest days. It's starting to stay light out till like 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, which is awesome because I hate leaving here at 4 p.m. sometimes. It's dark. It's like, I get in, it's dark. I leave, it's dark. So we're finally getting into summertime. And summertime in Michigan, there's something special about it. We were talking a little bit about the XFL right before we went to break. I was saying that I think the XFL is going to be here to stay now because of their partnership with the NFL. Because, look at like the WNBA. They're never going under because the NBA is always going to support them and float them. I think now that you have a partnership with the NFL makes billions. Right. They're not going to let the XFL go under because they're going to use them as kind of guinea pigs for new rules, trying out new things, and I think that's the perfect minor league system for the NFL.
Yeah, perfect minor league system for the NFL. Also, like you said, the key is trying out new things. If you remember the very first original XFL, they were the first one to put the cameras behind the line of scrimmage. And then the NFL later stole that. NFL later used that in theirs in terms of the camera angles of the XFL.
And the sky cam.
And the sky cam, the one that goes down. I actually hit that one time, but that sky cam was an XFL creation. And then NFL looked at it, they liked it, they used it once the XFL was no longer there. But I think also with that, it's a filter league for other things. You can filter out head coaches. You got former players you can send down to the XFL to get on coaching staffs to kind of learn how to coach, become head coaches. You can put them in the front office down there, give them that experience, that how to run a franchise, how to do that, and then come back to the NFL. I think it's a filler league for so many different things as they can push their former players into situations. Because a lot of times you hear these stories. As soon as it's over in football being the worst of the other sports, when football's over, guys don't know where to go, guys struggle. This is a good thing to do in terms of helping guys when they're done playing their football time.
I think there's another reason why this is going to succeed, and it's who's in charge and who's not in charge. The first 2 stints of the XFL, who was in the driver's seat? Vince McMahon. Yep. The first time around, Vince McMahon wanted to go, we're better than the NFL. We're going to be better than the NFL. The second time around, they wanted to be an alternate. Unfortunately, COVID happened. I think that really kind of hurt them being in the league. But now, who's in charge of the XFL?
NFL.
In the XFL, it's The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock is about smart business. Yes. You're not going to beat the NFL, but you know what? We can be in partnership. We know our role. We know we're going to be an alternate league, and we can be, like you said, we can be a feeder league to the NFL, which is what they got the partnership going on. That's why I think it's going to be successful. The Rock is not touching anything that him and his ex-wife, they got the best dynamic ever. His ex-wife manages his portfolio. That's smart.
Yeah, but you can't lie to her about where the money. You can't lie where the dollars are, though.
But I mean,
that alimony.
The thing is,
I didn't make that last year. It says right here.
Everything.
She's like, yes, you did.
Everything The Rock has been touching business-wise has been turning gold. Terramana, the Zoa energy drinks,
it's the biggest liquor.
His TV shows,
his clothing line.
I mean, his clothing line with Under Armour.
The movies,
the
franchises.
Everything The Rock does is gold. So he recognizes what this league is going to be and its potential. I think that's the reason why it's going to be successful, because he's in there, he's likable, he's about doing smart business, not trying to take somebody out.
Another thing that you said is very important is they're working side by side with the NFL. Both of you guys said that they're working side by side with the NFL. You know what that means? If I'm a kid that comes out in the draft and I don't get drafted, whether I had an injury or whether there was something that came out on me that may or may not be true, I don't get drafted. Now I'm literally at the house, I'm working out, I'm trying to get back in the league. The league's not knocking on my door, the league's not coming. These guys now can go to the XFL because they know the XFL is a part of the NFL. These guys can legitimately go right back into work, and they can go right back into playing. Keeping footage, keeping film. One of the hardest reasons why guys can't play after college, they don't have film. And after a year goes by, and then 2 years goes by, and 3 years goes by, now you got to start being realistic. Having that XFL league as a filler league, you'll have a lot of talented individuals for whatever reason why it didn't work out with the NFL. They're there, and they can be poached. I like that idea as well.
Did you guys ever watch the show Ballers?
I did.
On HBO?
On ESPN?
I think it was HBO, right?
Yeah, HBO. Like
Ballers.
Ballers with the Rock.
Sports version of Entourage.
And it's crazy to me how much life is intimidating, being like art. And The Rock, if you didn't watch it, The Rock was just he was an agent, and then he ended up owning a franchise in the NFL. Obviously, this isn't a franchise, but being a partner with the NFL, and it's just crazy to watch that 5 years ago, and now all of a sudden you're seeing him shake hands with the Jerry Joneses of the world, with the Roger Goodells, making these deals. And I don't know. It was one of my favorite shows. I think that show's so it was like Entourage for sports.
Athletes and sports.
Yep.
I loved it. I loved it the last 3 seasons, especially those last 2 years. Like when he went out and got wild, and were they in Columbus? What's his name? Eddie George. When Eddie George and he were getting into it, he was mad how he played him, how he lied to him, whatever. But that's when it got really good to me, is that season, I think, and then from then on. But I think what you're watching art imitate life, because The Rock is showing you his moves before they happen. Like the Rock is basically letting you know,
he's laying the blueprint.
He's laying the blueprint, and as you just called it out, we're just watching it after it's happening. The Rock is on a mission ever since he started $7, and I love when he tells the $7 story. It's amazing. You've heard the $7 story. That's the name of his production company. Basically, when he got cut in Canada, he's playing the Canadian Football League, the Montreal or Winnipeg, I think the Winnipeg Jets, got cut. All he had in his pocket after they sent him home was $7. And that's why the name is $7 Entertainment, because that's all he had in his pocket.
That's awesome.
When his dad picked him up from the airport down in Tampa. And then that's when he started his wrestling journey. But he is a guy that everything he says, he backs up and he sees. Like I always believe that everybody has something else going on. But him, I don't know, man. I think he's pretty transparent.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, what else can you say about The Rock besides I'm impressed?
Finally.
And partnering with the NFL is just, you're printing money now. That's it. You're not going under. You're good.
Did you guys like his intro at the Super Bowl?
I got something to say about that.
Because I've been wondering how people felt about that. Go ahead, Corey.
Okay, being in there, first off, because I'm not trying to flex. I was at the Super Bowl, but
you can
being
flex
in there,
on it, man. Being at SoFi.
Being
flex like he
in there,
flex.
It was just like I was looking at me and other reporters looking at each other like, one, this is too long, and then the second thing was he walked off to that horrible Tech song he made with Tech 9.
Yeah.
He walked off the field to his verse.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
MF,
just wrap it up. So that was probably, I'm a huge wrestling fan, just like Braylon, huge Rock fan. Out of all the moments as a Rock fan, that was probably the lowest.
So I'm glad.
It was cringeworthy.
I'm glad I can ask a fellow wrestler enthusiast as well as a Rock enthusiast. I think he's one of the greatest human beings on earth. That was what you call an L. And the Rock don't take L's. That's what you call an L. It was too long. It was you tell he messed up on the home team because they gave him the home away team at the last minute. Cornell, it just was. It was too much.
It was up there with him rocking the fanny pack.
At least he didn't know any better with the fanny pack.
Well, Braylon, me and you took an L on Monday. Me and you got hoodwinked. Me and you got bamboozled.
Hold on. Oh.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he got us. He got us.
He got us good. And we're going to talk about who got us and how they got us coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network. Man. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Hermani. Dude's lying to me. We got Corey Woodson here, Sam Flannel, of course, Alex Mayer, and the one and only Braylon Edwards. And the show is
The Bottom Line. I'm like Braylon Flannel today. It's like me and Sam, we in the flannel.
Someone
club.
asked where my flannel was.
You messed up, man. It's me and
Fellas,
Sam.
let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes?
Touchdown! What a play!
Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Guardian Alarm and Syntron should be your... Oh, there we go. All right. Guardian Alarm and Syntron. So you can sit home with your energy drinks and make sure nobody's breaking into your house or your business, and you can do it from anywhere, just monitoring on your cell phone. These guys are the leading cutting-edge technology in all things security. And like I said, not even for your home, also for commercial, man. We use them here at the studio to make sure nobody's busting in here late night and trying to take our stuff. And it's all thanks to Guardian Alarm. We all sleep a little bit better at night. So if you want that peace peace of mind. Peace of mind money really can't buy, but you can buy it with Guardian Alarm, and it's real easy to get a hold of them. All you got to do is call the number that's right above my head right now. If you're watching on YouTube, that number is 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT. One more time, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Finally!
You're out here!
And all you got to do is call them, call that number, and let them know Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll make sure you never have another unwanted house guest. And if you do, they will make sure they wind up in jail. That's because that's what Guardian Alarm does. Stay protected. Use Guardian Alarm.
Or you can just play like The Rock saying and finally the Super Bowl on repeat. I'm sure they won't break it.
They just put that's your alarm. It's just The Rock.
You know what? I'm good on that house.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. This is The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. Thank you to everybody that's listening on the Roar right now. Everybody that's in the YouTube chat, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you're subscribing. Braylon, I said me and you got hoodwinked. We got bamboozled. We aren't the only ones, though. Antonio Brown.
Oh, man, this guy right here.
On Monday, he put out a tweet saying, listen, they expected me to run on this ankle. They expected me to play on this ankle.
MF this, MF that, MFU, MFK, MLK. Have it your way.
Everything that he could type, he put on there. Yeah. And he put up an x-ray of a broken ankle or fractured ankle. And we were like, oh, man, that, you know what? They probably shouldn't have asked him to play on that. But the thing about that picture, it wasn't exactly from that game.
So, if we have, I don't know if we have, here it is. So when Santonio Holmes, when Antonio Brown was putting these pictures out, he happened to scroll by on his laptop. It was on a laptop when he was trying to show you the footage, the MRI, the bone scan, the x-ray. And when he scrolled by, in the top right corner is the exact date in which that x-ray is from. Somebody caught it, screenshotted it, zoomed in on it, circled it, and everybody noticed that that Jets game was in December. However, that particular x-ray was from October 2nd of this past year. AB's gonna AB.
I think that's one thing we've all learned this year, and it's just crazy to me because the internet is gonna find flaws. Like this is the same internet that a girl will take a picture and they'll look in the reflection of her sunglasses and notice that there's the dude she's cheating on him with.
100%.
Stuff like that. Like
they never post a sponsor.
Yeah,
you never post a sponsor.
Ever.
This is what I would say about that before I go into my mode where I get like Stephen A. and I'm just doggone disappointed.
Oh, we get Braylon Stephen A today? Hell yeah.
I don't know if he's doing that. We'll see how I feel. Let's start off here. He did get treatment on that ankle going into that Jets game. He did not practice that Thursday, Friday because of that ankle. That is documented. That is documented with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is documented with AB's attorney and his people. That much we know for sure. And he also missed, I think, the week of practice before that. He missed a day or two because of that ankle. So that much is noted, and it's true. With that being said, the fact that you would feel the need to go put, and I was confused whether it was an MRI or x-ray, but the fact that you would put that up there, trying to show people so you can go on your high horse of cursing people out and saying, I told you MF is this and I told you MF is that. Because even though we know that he was out that week, it still was some unclear circumstances surrounding that game. It's like you played, you tried to get past in the first half, the second half you weren't getting balls, now you're upset. Why would you go on there and post that and let somebody catch that where it clearly is an x-ray from 2 months before a set situation happened? Like, AB, like...
It's just more to the story of this guy, right? It's more, because we even talked on Monday. You thought that he still has a chance to get back in the league, and I thought after his last behavior there that there's no way, no team's going to take a chance on him. But you brought up, listen, when a dude's on the field, when he's between the lines, he's a dangerous man, and as long as you are that, people will take a risk on you. But at what point does the reward not match the risk? And I think now that we know he's lying about stuff and putting teams on blast, MFing people, like that's got to send even further shockwaves, right?
He's just an individual that just doesn't seem to care anymore. Like I don't know what deal he and Kanye struck up with this Donda group this Donda sports group that they're doing where you can pay $2 million for a suite. I mean, I never said he was broke. I'm not ignorant like that. I know AB got money, but unless there's just something there with this Donda group, like what are you out here trying to accomplish, Corey? Like what is What is going on in AB's mind and AB's head, who also went on the air and said he had no levels of CTE and mental health? So let's throw that out the window and just approach him from a perfectly sane individual. What the hell is wrong with him?
I'm done.
You done?
I've tried for so long. I don't want to outstick, but me and Stick share a love for Kanye, so we can understand some of Kanye's moves.
100%.
And why he lashes out or what people consider lashing out or whatnot. AB, I tried to understand it for a long time. Now I'm just confused. I'm done trying to figure it out. He talks out of both sides of his mouth.
And the back of his neck.
Every single moment he gets, and right now it's just becoming to the point that it's nauseating. He's out there. He's going to be out the league. I don't think he's going to be playing next season. I don't think there's any team that's going to want to deal with that headache regardless of his talent skill.
At least with Kanye, there's a method to his madness. Like with AB, it's just madness.
Yeah,
right.
Like
Kanye's an artist.
Madness.
Artists have traditionally, throughout the entire world and the entire mankind,
the history of the world,
been crazy. You got Van Gogh cutting off his damn ear. You got,
he was trying to do a science test.
You're not going to find a creative in the world that is not screwy.
100%.
Because to be a creative, you got to have a screw loose somewhere.
You got to think differently.
But with those moves, you can go back and look on some of their moves and be like, oh, you know what? Now that I have now I have 10 years later to approach it, I can kind of see what you did there. Or I have 200 years later to approach Van Gogh. I could be like, all right, you tried to do an experiment. I mean, I wouldn't have done it, but I get what you were trying to do with the ear.
You shot your shot.
Literally. But with AB, it's like, I'm still trying to figure out what your moves were. Like, for me, it starts here. You look at Pittsburgh. Nobody has ever said a bad thing about Mike Tomlin. He blew the whole franchise up. He started with Ben Roethlisberger is a racist, closetly, and all those other things about Ben. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's not about that. He went after Mike Tomlin. I'm done with you right there because I know you're lying. Then he goes out to Las Vegas. At the time, they still were Oakland, and he does all that. We watched all that unfold. Like, we watched that.
Froze his feet.
We watched you. We watched that. Then the Patriots. Robert Kraft. After that happens, after he watched that as well, Robert Kraft said, you know what? I'll take a chance. It's AB. Tom, you cool with that? Tom said, hell yeah, I want him. Score a touchdown first game. Then more things came out. Then what happened? Then he goes off on Robert Kraft on social media after that. Nope. First of all, black people, like Robert Kraft's our guy. Like, you can't say nothing negative about Robert Kraft. Like, Meat Mills, he got stamped. Like, AB went after Robert Kraft, BS. Then it happens in Tampa. Tampa Tom gave you the opportunity. And don't get me wrong. It's nothing for nothing. Like, you know, he gave you the opportunity because you can play, because you can ball.
Right.
But he still gave you the opportunity against Bruce Arians. And then you go down there, you blow that up, and then you get mad at Tom. You say Tom's the villain right along with Bruce Arians. Yo, you know, AB? Hey, man, I don't have to mention his name again. I wish him well in life. But I don't have to mention his name again.
That's when things really got screwy for me with AB. I mean, like, Tom literally got you off the street twice. And got you in winning situations where you could have thrived. And you did get the ring in one. You could have got a second one, but you torpedoed that. I think he probably could have. I'm not in that Buccaneers locker room, but he probably just killed the wave there.
And here's what I'm thinking. The teams that would take the risk on Antonio Brown already have taken the risk on Antonio Brown. Like, the only teams that would take that guy are the Patriots of the world, are the Raiders of the world, a Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay team of the world. Outside of that, I don't see a lot of people wanting knuckleheads on their team. Like, we know the Raiders always step out on that. We know the Patriots, because their system and how they can support players, are like, okay, people think you're a problem child. Well, guess what? Once you're here, you're ours, and we're going to be good.
I got a question for you guys. My bad, Corey. Go ahead, Corey.
I was going to say, Antonio Brown is who people thought OBJ was as far as a problem. Locker room cancer.
Great point.
This is my question. I don't know if we know the answer. This is a good one though. You look at the whole situation. Tom Brady retiring. You look at this little stuff is starting to come out about that organization in terms of their cohesiveness and them being, you know, fake cohesive. It really was a lot of things, underlying tones. How much of that is Tom Brady and Bruce Arians because of Bruce Arians and Tom Brady's back and forth on Antonio Brown? Antonio Brown, he brings in. Bruce Arians doesn't want him. Bruce Arians says, okay, you know what? That's your guy. You deal with him. You bringing him in. You vouch for him. And he dealt with him for a year. Insert next year. Here comes fake COVID card. Now Bruce Arians like, I told you, here comes some BS. We got to let him go. Tom's like, we ain't letting him go. No, we ain't letting him go. Now Bruce has to come out. No, we're not going to let him go. Now we're going to keep going. Then he pulls the move against the Jets. How much of that is Bruce mad that he got strong arm? Because you know Bruce ain't the type to get strong arm. He got strong arm by the franchise and Brady over AB. And now AB made a fool of them with the Jets situation, and he's continuing to make a fool with them. And Bruce probably like, I'm telling you that has something to do with Tom not playing out the rest of this year. That has something to do with it.
It's got to. It definitely has to play
a
role
in
into
mindset.
it. Well, they didn't get it done, and that's really all that matters in Tom Brady's world. And AB wasn't there to even help them get it done. So I'm assuming he's feeling.
He was at the Super Bowl, though.
He's feeling failure all the way around him, and Tom Brady does not like failure.
I don't think he's coming back.
Yep. San Francisco, let's go.
Yeah. Tom ain't done.
Yeah, we'll get into that conversation another day. We'll be right back right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. That is Braylon Edwards, and this is
The Bottom Line.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
You know, every day I come on here and I talk about how good Gypsy Vodka is. I talk about how smooth it is, how pure it is. I'm actually running into a couple people. They're like, "Man, you don't drink that stuff. You're just saying that. So you just saying that on air. You probably drink Tito's or something." Well,
there you go.
Here's a nice little half shot, Gypsy Vodka right there. Cheers to you. Gluten-free. 50 formulas went into making this amazing stuff right here. Guess what? Corn distilled 6 times. Not just corn distilled using artesian spring water, but corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. I'm trying to tell you, Adam and Mike, you got it right with this one. And for all those people, those non-believers, those naysayers, here you go.
And that was a fresh bottle he cracked. I heard it crack.
That's smooth as silk right there, baby.
Yeah.
Gypsy Vodka, 100% gluten-free. If you are by your local neighborhood liquor store, please ask them for this bottle right here. It is the best, purest vodka in the state of Michigan. Get yourself some. If you're going to drink responsibly.
Yeah, the only thing I'm mad at is you didn't bring another shot glass, but that's all right.
We had that on the camping trip, and that was some good stuff.
My apologies, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's all right.
There's more when the show's over.
We got 9 more minutes, then me and you can enjoy a libation from Gypsy Vodka.
There we go.
And if you're a betting man, the only place to place your money is mybookie.com. That is the place to go. And if you sign up today with promo code Woodward, we will give you a big match on all of your first deposits. So no matter what you want to bet on, too, I know it's a little lull in sports action right now, but it isn't always a lull, and you can bet all the way around the world. Like you want to bet on a cricket game, like Fish will give you cricket knowledge, and you can bet on that. So just because there's no big American sports happening right now doesn't mean you can't bet on all the things around the world and all the things locally, and that's what I love about MyBookie. So make sure you head there right now, enter promo code Woodward, and it's mybookie.com. All right, welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. They went by fast, man.
Yeah, man. That's what happens when you get to talking about opinionated things.
That's right. Maz is not here today. He had some family issues, so hopefully everything is going well with him and his mother-in-law. We'll have an update on that probably tomorrow, but nothing like crazy happened. They're just taking care of some business, so send some prayers and thoughts Maz's way. But Alex, you wanted to handle Maz's videos today.
Ooh. Hey, gang. No,
are you going to play the sweet intro?
Oh, yeah. You got
to play the sweet intro.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
What you got there,
so,
Mayor?
First video we got, it's a short one. It's an Instagram story from Jeff Okuda, and you guys can probably get a little discussion going out of this, but he gave us a little peek into his recovery from his Achilles injury suffered back in September.
Is this with him running like Forrest Gump?
Yeah, he's got a weird form, but it says 2:22:22, day 159 in the corner. It's amazing it's been that long since he got hurt, but he seems to be on his way back.
Braylon, are you familiar with this drill that he's running to recover? It's just long strides. Is that what you're focusing on?
Long strides. It's the low hurdle ones. I mean, you can do other things out of it, but right now, this is when you tear your Achilles, you want to get away from the side, the lateral things until you're absolutely ready for it. Slowly ease yourself into that. So everything right now is going to be vertical. And it's going to be vertical, so it's backwards and forwards. So it'll be like lunges forward, lunges backwards, high knee stuff forward, backwards. And then this is pretty good to see. He's sprinting forward, and it looks a little Forrest Gumpish, but that's where you are, man.
It's just his arms. His arms aren't moving. That's what makes it so weird. Play that again. Like, his arms are just, like, flat out to the side. Like, look at him.
like Mario. But you get in that phase, man, like when you're really first starting to do physical – what's the word I'm looking for? Exercise after a major injury, man. Your body, your mind, you're still a little nervous. Even though you're sprinting, even though it's okay, you're still nervous. So you look tentative. That's why. He's 5 months in, but still got long ways to go to the season start. So he's working at a good clip, I would say.
What else you got, Alex Mayer?
So, as Maz likes to say, let me take you back to 1985, where...
Were you even born then?
I was not even close to being born. But I'm going to take you back there, because that's what Maz does on the videos today. Bob Knight, who is 2 wins away from having his record snatched for most wins with a single Big Ten team. Tom Izzo is hot on his tail. Unfortunately, Michigan State is struggling right now. But we don't got to talk about that, so I'm going to show you this video of Bob Knight throwing a chair onto the court.
I mean, this is probably signature Bob Knight moment, right?
This is this is definitely who they made the movie Blue Chips about. Nick Nolte definitely was portraying Bob Knight.
And here it comes. He's getting up. He's all up in the official's grill. Standing there, hands on hips, disappointed.
I know what he said right there.
You can read lips?
He said, stay out.
Yeah.
MFer. He has some person, man.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
What?
I hate this chair.
Oh! Take the chair! Take it!
What an iconic moment, though, honestly.
It's almost like throwing a punch.
And then his player just runs over there and gets it. And that's the thing, yeah, it is almost like throwing a punch. What's more aggressive, throwing a chair into the stands across the whole floor, or
throwing
smacking some dude that's grabbing your player?
How did he not get ejected?
Because it's Bob Knight.
Because that's when America was America.
Yeah, that's true.
We were soft as hell.
Plus, everybody was scared of Bob Knight.
Right.
Literally, like the president of Indiana didn't want to fire Bob Knight. Bob Knight was interesting. Bob Knight had power. He had fear. Because he's a big man. He's a former athlete. He's a former player. He's a big guy. He was a great coach. I mean, he had everything you need in the 80s to be a physical, aggressive coach.
An intimidating factor.
Yeah.
What else you got, Alex?
This is our last video. This is just the grandpa, well, not the grandpa, but the old man in Maz. This is just the video of a dog hopping onto a recliner, and it fell over. So here you go.
You seem thrilled.
Yeah.
How did Maz find this?
It's a Ring video. Nope. It's like... So the dog tries to sit on the recliner, too big, knocks the whole damn recliner over.
That looks like Maz, trying to get comfortable for the Super Bowl. Trying to get comfortable for the Super Bowl and then just falling back into it. I can see a very long cry with...
Yeah, it's slow motion. With his
legs
kicking
He's
up
got
in the
his
air.
little legs kicking up.
Hello, check.
How do you not? Falling.
Well, Braylon, man, thank you again. Another great show. Thank you guys for letting me fill in today. Corey, man, thanks for hanging out all 2 hours.
Oh, no problem. It was fun.
I appreciate that. I appreciate Corey coming in, providing different aspect, different segment, different stuff. It's fun. It's new. That's what we do at Woodward Sports, man. We try to come with the new, different rotations. Also, I want to say thank you to Stick, because we were having a problem with our lower board. The TV in the middle, there's 15 TVs, the one right here in the middle, the bottom one, it was acting up, our board was down, and Stick was determined to get it fixed. So you guys can see this beautiful board that is Woodward Sports Network, our digital screen. He went and got it done. Appreciate you, buddy, because it looks a lot better looking at that versus looking at our 2-screen every episode.
Yeah, no, this thing's such a big part of our production, and when it goes down, man, it is all hands on deck. I had to drive to Lansing yesterday to pick up one part that we could not find anywhere else in the United States. They said it was going to be like 5 days to ship it to us, and then they were like, it's 80 miles away. I'm like, where's 80 miles? I don't care. I'm driving 80 miles.
That's what I'm talking
Drove
about.
to Lansing, picked up the part, and we're fully operational today. But
Back
damn.
to the building, man. Because this guy right here, man, no stone unturned for Woodward Sports Network. That is our motto.
You're the real MVP.
No, you guys, man, I appreciate that, but that's part of it, man. We all got to play our role. We all got to do what we got to do, and you know what? It's my job to make sure you guys have everything you need to be successful. So hopefully we do that for you guys every single day here at Woodward Sports.
We will, man. Hey, guess what, man? It was another fun day. Not a great talk. A lot of opinions about the Detroit Lions, other Wells. The 75th anniversary team, 75th anniversage team.
Hogwash.
Should Ben be on it? Should he not be on it? That was great comment.
Yep.
Here we go. Last verdict on that. Ben, 75th team. On it or not?
100% on it.
On it or not?
On it.
That's what I'm talking about. I love when people stay the course. Me? The hell with it. Put him on the squad.
Yeah, bro.
Put him on the squad. Put Ben on the team. Put Ben on the team. He deserves it. Like you said, 6 times first team All-NBA, 4 NBA defensive titles. And he's got a ring. Should have got another ring if somebody would have closed out.
Right.
You know what? Put him on the squad.
Yeah, scrub-ass Anthony Davis. Find your ass on the bench. Thank you very much, Mr. 76. That's what we'll call him. You guys have a
that's
great
reserved
day.
for Klay Thompson.
Oh, there you go.
That's reserved for Klay Thompson.
You guys have a great day. Make sure you watch Woodward Bets 6 to 7 today to make sure you get all up to date on how to make some money. We'll talk to you later.
Let's do it. For Alex, for Sam, me, Stick, and my man Corey on the couch today filling in for Mass, this is The Bottom Line.
Against Nebraska last week. They want to get him the football. Ohio State showing blitz with Roby. And it's a run play. Robinson is free inside the 30. Robinson inside the 10.